Sometimes I like to get on here and go through some whole, well mapped out, intricate bullshit when talking about these different teams. But there's really no reason to do that with the New York Jets. Here's how you can sum them up very easily. Another season of no playoff appearances, 3 straight years now. Of course Rex Ryan would be retained, and of course the Jets organization and the players would be happy about a guy who's missed the playoffs 3 straight years, finishing 8-8 in 2013, being brought back again for another go-round in 2014. And of course the Jets consistently fail to understand that they need to have a little more balance. The way they've been doing things for years under Rex Ryan as head coach, whether it be general manager Tenenbaum or now freaking Idzik, you're too defense focused. And how much has that defense really gotten for you over the past few years? The New York Jets seem to not understand this and consistently repeat the same stupid mistakes over and over again, and all the while expect some type of miracle to happen and for the results to change. They won't. They'll stay exactly the same because dumb dick organizations make dumb dick moves that produce consistently dumb dick results. And the 2014 draft proves that out once again for the New York Jets. Now let's think about this logically for just a second. Yet again, the New York Jets go into the offseason with offense being a major need and a major focus, you would think. Now, sure, they brought in people like Eric Decker, and they brought in people like CJ2K, Chris Johnson. So they addressed it some in free agency. But if the New York Jets organization thinks that's all they needed to do to fix the offensive side of the ball, by God, do I have news for them. And yet here we are again, the New York Jets, spending yet another first-round pick on a defensive player. How stupid can one organization possibly be? Why would you consistently do the same crap year after year and expect the results to be any different? People can say what they want about butt fumble Mark Sanchez, but at the end of the day, what did this New York Jets organization really freaking do to put him in a good situation to succeed? They did it by drafting people every year on the defensive side of the ball in round one, whether that was Kyle Wilson or Muhammad fucking Wilkerson, or in 2013 looking at Sheldon Richardson and D. Milner. 2012, Quentin Coples. And now here again in 2014, freaking Calvin Pryor, the safety from Louisville. A prospect that I like, that in theory fits the Jets defense very well. But again, I have to ask the question, if you have invested so many picks into your defense over recent years and your results haven't changed, why would you continue to do the same damn things and expect those results to be any different when they have consistently been the same all along? And if you need to invest that much into the defense, and you clearly are a defense-first organization, then what does that say about Rex Ryan and his job as a defensive coach? If you have to keep plunking first-round picks into it, if he was really that good of a defensive mastermind and really that good of a defensive coach, the Jets should be the best defense in all of the National Football League, and it shouldn't even be close. They should be winning 10 or 11 games every single year just because their defense is impenetrable. But clearly that's not the case. Yet clearly the New York Jets have decided yet again to be idiots. And out of the past 5 drafts, they have had 6, and I emphasize again, 6 first-round picks, and have spent all 6 of those first-round picks on defensive players. How dumb and stupid can one organization be? And you watch the draft every year, and when you look back at all the stuff they show from Jets fans over the years, being upset about this or that, being pissed off about Kyle Brady over freaking Warren Sapp, or Ken O'Brien over Dan Marino. I mean, it could go on and on and on with this incompetently run Jets organization. And they do the same shit again. You set Mark Sanchez up to fail, and basically you're setting up Geno Smith to fail again. This is so dumb on so many different levels. And yet the Jets don't seem to understand this. And yet the Jets seem to think that history and results are going to change, even though they consistently do the same crap year in and year out. And when you look at their draft results down below in the description box, their best pick easily was Jace Amaro. To be able to get a versatile weapon at tight end like him, basically sandwiched in the middle of round number 2, was a tremendous value. And you would have thought the Jets would have blown that and taken a corner or taken an outside linebacker. But no, they actually did something right for a change by helping out the young quarterback. Or if you want to play quarterback dog killer Michael Vick, you want to play him, well, you're giving him some more help at least in Jace Amaro. Their best value, probably Dakota Dozier at the end of round 4. This was a guy that I thought was a second-round pick. I think he could at least, at the very worst, play right tackle at the NFL level. To be able to get him at the end of round 4, again, represents good value, really good value, and filled a huge position of need because that Jets offensive line outside of Ferguson and Mangold is kind of boo-boo-ish. So really good value. Maybe a player that could surprise might be Jalen Saunders. Yes, he's all of 5'6" or 5'7", maybe 170 pounds. This is an explosive player who's also not afraid to get physical. You know, he's a tough guy, and I like him as a prospect, and I think he's a guy you can do some things with. Hopefully the Jets can figure out how to manufacture touches for him at the NFL level. But there's just so much second guessing to go around with this Jets organization and this Jets draft. They took a safety. They took yet another defensive player. And the third defensive back in the past 5 drafts in round number 1. Why do that? Why? It just makes no freaking sense at all. Except for when you realize that this is the Jets organization we're talking about, who consistently over the years has demonstrated an incompetence when it comes to the NFL draft by and large, yet repeats the same mistakes and expects the results to be affected or changed and do anything more positive. They won't! Because you haven't done enough, nearly enough, to help out your young quarterback or even the veteran quarterback that you bring in. Why would you sit there and do the same damn things that are going to produce the same mediocre results as they have the past few seasons? And again, for an organization that needed so much help on the offensive side of the ball, that now has a young quarterback that you would think in theory you would try to help out, try and put in position to succeed, and maybe actually build the organization around him, the Jets give 2 of their first 3 picks on the defensive side of the ball. Dexter McDougle, a corner out of Maryland in round number 3. What the fuck is wrong with you? That goes to both John Idzik and Rex Ryan. What the hell are you doing? In such a deep and talented wide receiver class, you didn't take a wide receiver in round number 3, or you didn't address offensive line there in round number 3, and that was a need. You could have even addressed running back there in round number 3, because that's still a need. Even bringing Chris Johnson in the fold, you still need better options long term. And then when they do address wide receiver in round 4, they reach for both of them. Jalen Saunders, maybe a 5th or 6th round prospect. Shaq Evans from UCLA, again, maybe a 5th, 6th, even 7th round prospect. Those are the 2 wide receivers that you chose that early. You reached on both of them in round number 4. That's why the Jets are in the damn position they're in. That's why they're such a laughingstock. If I'm running the Jets, you say, well, it's easy to bitch about it. Provide an alternative. I'll go on the record right now. I guarantee the draft that I would have constructed for the New York Jets will be a lot better than theirs 3 years from now. Put money on it right now. Brandon Cooks at number 18, Amaro at 49, Gabe Jackson at number 80, Martavis Bryant at 104, DeAnthony Thomas at 115, and then Dakota Dozier at 137. Take my draft, measure it against what the Jets actually did, come back and see me in 2 or 3 years and tell me who was right or who was wrong. Final grade for this Jets draft, I shouldn't have been surprised. I had a feeling it was coming, a D+. Amaro's really, truly the only tangible, immediate help at the skill positions that the Jets got in this draft. For the, again, I emphasize this, 4th straight year, they spent 2 of their first 3 picks on the defensive side of the ball, clearly indicating that the Jets don't understand what it takes to win in the National Football League, let alone even compete in the freaking AFC East. This is the 5th straight year and 6 first-round picks overall that have all been devoted to the defensive side of the football. I can't imagine Jets fans are happy with this at all, and if you are, why are you? Look at the results it produced. 3 straight years of no playoffs. You can say, well, Sheldon Richardson was a stud this past season as a rookie. Yes, he was. And D. Milder played like shit, and you still missed the fucking playoffs. So stupid. And then when they finally did address the skilled positions more in round 4, they reached for both of the guys they took. Typical Jets draft. Typical of Rex Ryan and now John Idzik, apparently. I'm just going to call him John Tannenbaum. What's the difference? I don't see any difference at all. The more shit changes, the more shit stays exactly the same. If you're going to consistently repeat those same mistakes that have gotten you into trouble in the past, how are you right to expect that the results are going to be any different. I don't see how the results are going to be any different for the New York Jets. They're going to be an unbalanced, one-dimensional football team, and that one dimension isn't nearly as good as it should be based off of all the draft picks and money they have invested on that defensive side of the ball over the past 5-6 years, period.